got the American Jesus. He outbuilt the president's estate.
Alright everybody, Church of SDFU here. So as usual, I'm late to everything. So I'm gonna give the whole Draw Muhammad Day, Draw Thunderfoot Day a skip for this year. I just can't be bothered. It turns out I'm also late for the Rapture, which is kind of embarrassing. Which in Australia, I mean, I'm not sure when on the 21st it was supposed to happen, but it's getting pretty late now. So, unless God is saving his rapturing for the last minute, you know, which I guess he could be doing, because more excitement, it looks like it's not going to happen. Or it could, of course, already be happening, and Australia just happens to be a nation of the damned, which, looking around me, doesn't seem too unlikely, so I'm not going to discount either possibility. So if you're living somewhere where people are currently getting raptured, or you yourself are currently being raptured, please let me know how that's eventuating for you. I'd be really interested. But even if the whole thing did get delayed, again, I'm sure one of those very trustworthy prophets will be along soon enough to get in touch with God and tell us when the next potential rapture is coming. And surely it must be along any day now. I don't know if you guys heard about this. There was the atheist guy in America who was offering people a service for $150. He would take care of the pets of Christian people after the rapture, which, first of all, that works out to, I have it on a calculator here somehow, somewhere. It's apparently he got 500 takers, and at $150 a pop, that's $75,000. So that's pretty impressive. But what really amazes me about this, I mean, those 500 people must be some of the most kind-hearted, good-hearted, rightful people out there. And I'm going to throw in the word naive as well. Because, seriously, the rapture happens, Antichrist comes back, World War III starts, horrible mutilation, warfare, and yet this evil atheist is going to keep his deal and take care of your dogs for $150, currency which at that stage of the game is probably going to be worthless. People are going to be paying in cigarettes or human fingers or something. Plus $150, I mean, it costs me that much pre-apocalypse to get my dog taken care of for a week. So that's a bit optimistic. But I would have to say, why would you even want your little poochie to survive the apocalypse? The rapture, and then be part of the apocalypse? I mean, the end of days is going to be pretty unpleasant for us normal, unbelieving evil Satanists. I mean, it's for your, unfortunately, soulless little poochie, it's going to just be terrible. I mean, once the nuclear holocaust happens and all the radiation, and you get these gangs of roaming zombie mutant freaks, you know, they're going to think of Poochie as food rather than cute. So I'm not sure if I want my dog to survive into the horrible zombie apocalypse that is sure to follow. And if this is all going to be like boring kind of World War III and no zombie apocalypse, then I'm going to be seriously disappointed. I mean, I'm already going to go to hell, so you might as well let me go out with a bang. So that is the least you can do, okay? But, I mean, my biggest question with the rapture is about the actual procedure. So, I mean, I've seen this on TV, and I'm going to assume that's a perfectly scientific, a very accurate depiction of what it is guaranteed to actually look like, where people start slowly floating into the sky, and then they get kind of faster, and they go zing, and that's all the Christians gone, and they float like through things as well, I guess. So, all right. First of all, you could question why it has to be so flashy. I mean, God could just have us all wake up and all the Christians disappeared out of their beds. But I mean, I get it. It's God's big day. He's been working up to this moment for a long time, and yeah, he likes theatrics once and again. I mean, the big flood, he could have just, I don't know, killed everyone, but you know, big flood's pretty cool. So I get it. A bit of Hollywood glamour. You know, I actually appreciate that myself. Even though I'm going to be condemned to terrible, terrible pain and suffering for the rest of my infinite existence, at least I get to see a pretty cool show. But about the actual going-ons, I mean, when Jesus ascended to heaven, he did the whole flying up into the clouds thing. Back then, the whole thing still made sense because people thought heaven up there, clouds, heaven, and then hell is like earth, Morlock people, and then down there, way down there, that's hell, right? But we've been up there by now, so heaven is certainly not just above the outer layer of the atmosphere. That's what we call space. And space, I mean, it's filled with space junk. It's cold and it doesn't have any oxygen. So I guess the space junk you can kind of avoid because after all they're flying through roofs and things. I'm guessing they can pass through material objects. But you know, isn't it going to be rather cold and suffocating up there? So you might want to pack, you know, you might want to pack like a good breather and your warmest sweater just in case. And possibly something good to read. Hopefully that speed up thing will be exponential and you'll be there in a flash. But I'm not sure how far heaven is away. And if he's going to be dragging the whole way and you're going to be like flying through space, it's going to get pretty boring up there. So, you know, some good, I don't know, piece of literature. Maybe some Stephen King or something. Maybe The Stand, because that would be kind of like ironic, because you're reading a post-apocalyptic God versus Satan when you're like being raptured. That'd be pretty cool. But you know, if you've already been raptured at this stage, I guess it's a bit late for this bit of advice. In which case, you know, I hope it's all working out for you. I hope you get there safely and have a good trip. I hope the in-flight service is good. And if you do get hurt in some way, you know, a bit of the cold, the frostbite or something, I hope that healthcare is a bit better up there than it is down here. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and I mean, the last thing I do want to say, I can't emphasize this enough. When you're being raptured, and I'm guessing I'm safe from this anyways, but, you know, because in Australia no one is getting raptured. But if you're in some other country and you're getting raptured, I might see it on TV. Please don't be a dick about it. Please don't be like, oh, you know, poking out your tongue and making rude gestures and yelling, I told you so. We will actually, I mean, some people have suggested that once all the Christians fly up there, we'll just be sitting there and saying, no, there must be a scientific explanation. I can guarantee you, if all the Christians fly up into space and I get left behind, I will believe. So there's no need to rub it in. There really isn't. I'm going to be going through great tribulation anyways. It's really going to suck. I'm going to have a terrible time, and it's all going to accumulate in me being poked up the ass by little devils. So please, be gentle and let me enjoy my final hours of moderate agony before the full-blown agony of hell. So, I mean, from the land of the damned, this is Church of STFU. I guess I'll see you guys all later, or maybe not. Maybe if I don't see all of my Christian friends on here tomorrow, then I know what has happened, and I will be prepared. So, in that case, please say hello to Jesus for me. And, you know, if you could put in a good word, I know that God was kind of pretty final about the suffering for all eternity. But I know Jesus is kind of a bit, you know, he seems a really cool guy. You can tell him I told you so. And he seems to like be a bit more relaxed about stuff. And some of the stuff that God was like really, angry, hellfire, brimstone. And Jesus was like, it's kind of cool now. So if there's any chance that they're gonna, you know, maybe adjust the policy, like, reduce it eternity to just like 10,000 years of suffering, that would be excellent. I mean, so, and in that case, just say max. Don't say Church of SDFU. He might take that the wrong way. I don't know. But yeah, you can tell him I always liked Jesus. I have him right up there with Buddha and Gandhi and people. And once the rapture happened, I will actually believe that he's the Son of God. So at that point, I'll be the complete package. I'll see you guys all later, hopefully.